everybody. We are live at Bill Has Opinions. Bill, I think we need like a theme song sometime to play over this.
You said that last week. I'll get on
card.
it. A theme song.
Yeah, I just need to figure out how to do it because I have not quite figured that out, which I think I've also said before. But welcome everybody to Bill Has Opinions, where the opinions are made up and the points don't matter. I am Laura Lavoie, and I am here, of course, with Bill Perkins, who is from space. Welcome everybody to the show.
Yeah, hey.
So tell me, what are you drinking today, Bill from space?
I got a little line of things here. I already had this one the other week, but they haven't changed because there's not as much beer business. They haven't changed enough of the taps. So I'm starting with a Ginger's Revenge Lime Agave, just because that seems to get me ripped really quick.
And then you're funnier.
Then I'm funnier. Then I'm going to chase that with an Innovation Afternoon Delight Blonde Ale. And then to follow that up, in case I hate the blonde ale, because I'm not sure. Sometimes I don't like blonde ales. But, I just didn't know. So the third beer I have lined up is a Highland Gaelic Ale, which is not my favorite local beer, but it's a good middle of the road. Okay, whatever.
But it's also exactly what I'm drinking right now.
Hey, look at that. Cheers.
That's what I've got. So cheers, our viewers, all two of you. And feel free to chime in, tell us what you're drinking, or just join in the conversation as we go along. But yeah, I was going to say, so Innovation is from Sylva, North Carolina. And their beers are usually pretty good. So I'm eager to hear what you think about it when you start it.
I'll tell you in a moment, momentarily.
Excellent. So the show for today, everybody who is watching, everybody who tunes in, we are talking about parties. Remember what parties were like? I have kind of forgotten what parties are like.
All tomorrow's parties.
How do we party?
They're all parties tomorrow now because there are no current parties.
All parties right now are virtual parties where we drink and watch each other.
That you partied like it was 1999 back then because you didn't realize that, in 2020 there would be no parties.
Yeah, but here we are. So just give us a general overview here, Bill. What do parties mean to you? What are they? How do you enjoy one? How do you throw one? How do you have a good one? What's your hot take on parties?
I got a little bit of a segue here. I know that's going to take people back. So my history with parties here, and I'm not going to go all the way back to the roller skating rink party in second grade. That was actually a pretty good time. But no, I'm talking specifically. Let's start in high school, because that's when parties kind of get on your radar, right? High school, and college, I guess, is the big party times.
Yep.
So here's the thing. I guess I spent my formative years watching a lot of John Hughes movies, and not just John Hughes movies, but movies like John Hughes. All that in their ilk, I should say, right? So I had this inflated idea what parties was supposed to be,
right?
Based on teenage movies that I grew up on. And I thought a party, like an ideal, like good time party, was going to be like you'd have it would be chips and dip and a live band, is the way I saw it, right? It was, it was like a concert, but with refreshments.
All right.
I mean, you have refreshments at a concert, but I mean, you have to pay for them.
Right, but these ones are the ones your mom puts out with
your mom would have made pigs in a blanket and nachos and 5-layer dip, and there'd be a live band in the corner, and then after mom left, because that'd be ideal, then the debauchery would start, and all the kids would drink and commence to having premarital sex. So that was my idea of what a party was supposed to be. And then when I got to the age where I finally went to a party, it was not that. It was mostly just a bunch of kids standing around. The drinking happened, but other than that, nothing really happened. It was just it was the same assholes that I didn't talk to at school, except they were in a different setting, and now they were all half drunk and stupider than normal. And so I was real let down. That's what I'm trying to get at here. I was quite let down about what a party was. And all I did was sit around in the corner kind of and sulk because this wasn't what I wanted, and it wasn't a good time. And I just felt more alienated for being there than I would have if I'd have found something else to do. So that was probably like, yeah, I swore them off kind of, right? And I didn't go to anything else I would call a party until, well, hold on. Okay, but then I hosted my own party because I wanted the movie party. So I made my own party. I remember I did it because I was in this band in high school called Fart with 2 R's. And I used to tell people,
Of course you were.
the extra R was for class, to add some class to it, I said.
Yes, that tracks.
Yeah. So anyway, mostly I just because there weren't that many venues looking to you know, book a high school band, right? Especially one called Fart. We were kind of niche. We didn't have a lot of opportunities to play out, so I wanted to play in front of people, and I also wanted to have the party that I always wanted to go to. So I threw a thing called Bill's Shindig, and I advertised it all over the place. And my mom agreed to like get the heck out of Dodge. You know, she's like, all right, you know, because she trusted me. You know, she was like, yeah, you know, you're not gonna tear the house up or whatever. And so my band, and she talked to the next door neighbors actually and was like, hey, listen, he's gonna have a party and he's gonna have, you know, his band play, but they're gonna be done by 10, and it's Friday, so you know. And they were like, yeah, what else? So we did the thing, and I think maybe 8 people showed up. You know, which was okay by me, honest to God. Like, so here's the thing, I guess, for me then that kind of became my thing. Like parties were like 8 people or less, you know, like get-togethers more or less like that. I'm cool with that, right?
Right. Yes.
But then I didn't really like parties after that, you know, because when I'd go to big parties, I would just find myself sitting over in the corner by myself. I mean, everybody would just click up and you know, it just wasn't a good time. And I'm like, why go to a thing to have a bad time, right?
Right. That's fair.
So yeah, so for a long time I didn't like parties. And then I got to art school, and you got invited to art openings, which are just a type of party, right?
Right.
And I went to 1 or 2 of those. And first, you know, you had ideas about how that was too, from TV and movies, right? Like, you know, and I thought it was gonna be these like intellectuals standing around having a glass of wine, talking, you know. And
right, like yeah, Warhol and Basquiat, just like, what am I doing?
No, it turns out it's pretty much the same shit as the other party I didn't like.
Just maybe a little more pretentious.
Yeah, a little more pretentious, exactly. So I didn't like that either, and then I swore off art openings also. Unless a friend is having an art opening, I will make the exception. I will go for a friend's art opening, but I won't stay long. I'll make an appearance, and I'm outie, you know?
Right.
So that's my, you know, I don't know. And then so as an adult, yeah, we're always going to talk about DragonCon. DragonCon's like a party. It's like the party I wanted. Yes. It's refreshments, and it's live music, and everybody's in costume. And I would say costume parties are the exception to lousy parties. Okay.
Yes.
So DragonCon is a costume party, but also it's the other kinds of parties all kind of rolled into one, and it's nonstop. You know, it's a bacchanalia in costume.
You can go in and out of parties constantly because it's a constant 4-day, 5-day long party, and you can like weave your way into parties, and then weave your way back out of parties.
There's parties going on all over the place, and you just go between them. There's a different party in every hotel lobby, and then there's parties in some of the rooms. So yeah, that's cool. I like that. And then, like I said, I like costume parties. Oh, and I will say I do like parties that have a live band. And sometimes people have costume parties with live band. I've been part of that before. Yes. And that's okay too. But other than that, I hate parties. So if you want to have a party and you want me to show up, costumes or a live band or both, that's my personal take on it. What's your view? How do you feel about it?
Well, it's funny because first of all, I have to say that your influence of what is a party based on John Hughes movies is the Gen Xiest thing we've said in the show to date, because it is literally like that is what formed our opinion of parties. That's what parties are supposed to be, and then that concept of parties kind of was pervasive in culture pretty much ever since, so like we see that iconic, high school party where everybody's got the red Solo cups, and I never went to a single party like that in high school. Like it just wasn't even a thing.
Right.
I don't know if I didn't have the right friends, I'm not sure, or I did have the right friends maybe.
I think those are bullshit made up Hollywood nonsense is what they are.
I think they are.
And so we're never going to be able to enjoy that party because it's not a thing.
Yeah. But growing up, I had some very specific rules for parties. Like my parents had rules for parties, and I wasn't allowed to have my own party with the exception of a couple of birthday parties. I was never allowed to have a party, but I could have a 16th birthday party. So my 16th birthday party, I decide, because I am the nerd girl that likes to dress up in costumes. And mind you, my birthday's in March, so it's not like it's costume time. But I'm like, I want to have a costume party. So I did. I had 12 people in my basement dressed up in random costumes for no reason. But I didn't mind that. It was fine. But what that said to me, what that taught me from there on out, I did once, actually, quick aside, I did once host a college party. I lived in a house with 4 of the roommates, like a rundown old house, like the quintessential college experience. And we hosted a giant, rager of a Halloween party one year. And it was we had people at the party we didn't know, just showed up. And completely randomly, at one point in the middle of the party, a guy that 2 of us had gone to high school with on the other side of the state, who didn't go to the same college we did, showed up. I'm like, where did you come from? And he didn't know it was our party. So it was extra funny.
That reminds me of a costume party I went to in college that actually was an okay, good time. And I also wanted to name drop because I went when I was in college, when I was in art school, this girl who actually was from South Carolina, who was the only person at art school I knew prior to going to art school. Okay, so she was the only other South Carolina person I knew there. She was dating the drummer for Screeching Weasel.
Oh, wow.
She lived with him. And so Screeching Weasel, they all lived in this one big house in Logan Park in Chicago. And they were having this rager of a Halloween party. And I put together this really fucking sweet Pope costume that year. That was completely by accident because I was actually doing this art project, right? And we were doing this thing, and I was making something, and I cut so I had a big sheet of cardboard, like the size sheet of cardboard you would break dance on, right?
Right.
And I had cut a circle out of it. It turns out when you cut a circle, like a large, I want to say like a 3x3 circle out of a large sheet of cardboard, the corner of that piece of cardboard, it's a point, and then it's got a semicircle at the other end. When you wrap it around, it turns into a Pope hat. This was completely by accident. And I was like, holy shit, this is a Pope hat. So then I took, and it was right before Halloween when we did this. And so I took it home and I painted it, and made it into a Pope hat. And I happened to, from a previous life, when I worked in a job as furniture delivery, I had previously, when the company I worked for was going out of business, they had this storeroom full of all this random stuff, and some of it was like window dressings and they had a bunch of tablecloths from where they would set tables in the display,
Right.
And
right.
I got several black tablecloths and one really bright red satin tablecloth, and so I took the bright red satin tablecloth and I cut a hole in it,
Right. So it's easy costume though.
It was a really sweet costume, and I just took a black shirt and I buttoned it all the way to the top, and then I flipped the collar inside out, like this.
Right.
So like medical tape and just put a little.
Perfect.
But I was the Pope at this party that was at the Screeching Weasel House, and I had a really good time at that party. Oh my God! And then we actually jumped parties. We were at that party for a while, and then some other friends of ours were actually having a party up in Winnetka, which, by the way, is where all the John Hughes movies take place.
Right. So you full circle there.
Yeah. So I had this one classmate who he would deny it, but he was rich. Okay, because they lived in Winnetka, and I was like, come on, you know, like, and he was like, no, I'm not rich, and I'm like, well, maybe you're not Winnetka rich, but you know, like to everybody else, you are. So anyway, I mean, I swear to God, he probably lived in like the Home Alone house or something. You know, is where
Sure.
It was at least on that street. It was on that same street. Okay, and so anyway, we were driving up to, like, we were leaving Logan Square, which is kind of southwest side of Chicago, like towards O'Hare, and we're going to Winnetka, which is like north up on the lake shore kind of, and we're heading across. I don't know, and I just remember this. I don't remember drinking that much. Maybe I didn't, but my friend Matt must have been drinking. I know a lot of Matts, by the way. I always have a friend named Matt.
I know a lot of Bills, so that's just how it works out.
There you go. Yeah. So anyway, my friend Matt, he's looking at, this is back before cell phones and shit, right? People, this is in the 90s, and I had a road map that I was supposed to be navigating and trying to get us up to Winnetka. And I'm telling him where to turn and shit. And then at some point during the drive, I look over out the window and I realize we've run a red light, and there's a car coming barreling right at me, right? And it's one of those weird slow motion-y things, you know, where you have time to like think and do things.
Right.
I look at the car barreling towards me. I look down at the map, and then I look at my friend Matt, and he's looking at the fucking map in my lap. And I say, what in the fuck are you doing? And then boom, and then the car hits us.
Oh.
Now, we weren't hurt. It was just a fender bender, really. You know, I'm sure it cost him a few points on his license, though.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So what I learned from all those experiences, though, was that my jam was theme parties. And to this day, like, I love hosting parties. I don't always love attending parties, but I love hosting them because I'm in control and I can do like a theme or some sort of like an activity. Like, you've been to several of our parties, and you know, we'll do beer tastings or we'll do costumes or whatever the case may be. So that's how I like to jam a party.
That's probably similar to that, because when I have it's funny, I don't consider my beer tastings really parties, but I guess they are, because I have, you know, more than 8 people sometimes at them, you know, when I used to do that.
Right. It's a very adult party at that point. It's more like a salon.
Yeah, but you're in your element, and there's at least one thing you know you're going to enjoy, right? Like, so there's that. There's like, I might not like the party in general, but it's got at least something that's pertinent to my interest that I'm going to have a good time. So like the costume party thing, I guess that's a thing. Like I said, and if you have a live band, well, then I can just enjoy the live band, unless they suck. But most of the time, people book pretty good. You know, people don't book sucky bands for parties, really, do they? I don't.
Well, you usually book your friends. Like, it's
okay, but so the only time I'm trying to think, I have never been invited to a party with a live band. I've only ever been the live band at the party.
Right.
And I've been that a few times in my life. So I don't know, you know, like I presume the band could suck. Maybe we sucked. I don't know. You know,
You did not suck. It was fun. Plus, you were also in a theme. In my experience, the band you were in was a theme band, which combines all of those elements. It's a theme band with costumes at a party, at a theme costume party.
Right. And actually, I would go so far as to say that particular band, we were a party band also. We were supposed to, honestly, that was our ideal location. We were supposed to be the kind of band you would book for parties. We don't really work in a lot of venues, but we work as a party band, you know?
Yes. All right. So typically, right around now, we do a station break, and we have questions coming in, but I was saving them for right after the station break. But do we have a station break? Do we want to plug anybody?
I didn't think of anybody. I did want to mention that you guys probably saw over the weekend if you saw it, we did a little short over the weekend because Laura is actually in town. So we were doing a live meetup, socially distanced still. We were being safe. We were way apart from each other, but she had on this really sweet T-shirt that said "Bill has opinions," and you can get a shirt just like that by going to our Bill Has Opinions store.
You can. Threadless.com, buy your own. And if you join us on Patreon, if you join us on Patreon, you can get a super special discount on your very own t-shirts. So plus access to our super private speakeasy where we will just chat with you one-on-one and do weird shit.
Right. You could host. Well, I guess we could let you on, and then you could lead this silly conversation if you wanted.
It's true.
And maybe even tell me your opinion on something if you were so desired. And also at the $250 level, I will share my lewds with you.
Also, disclaimer, we do not have a $250 level, but if you want to pay us $250, that's precisely what will happen.
Yeah.
So do that. Do that. All right. So before we get into the, we don't really have an email bag, to be honest. So we'll just do this right away because we're being asked questions.
That's not mailbag?
Not mail. Well, I've got questions coming in. We got people participating.
All right.
So Jay Hicks from Detroit asks, barbecue parties, yay or nay?
I'm going to say yay on that. Yeah, I've been to a couple pig pickings. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is a type of party that's actually not completely lame, but I like weddings okay. Those are, honest to God, a wedding's a party, right? It's a ceremony. It's mostly the party, right? Like, it's basically you're inviting all your friends to a party where you have a ceremony.
Yeah, unless you're Catholic, where the ceremony is like an hour and a half long, and then you have a party 7 hours later. But
but the Catholic wedding part, the after party is great at a Catholic wedding.
Oh yes.
If you get invited to a Baptist wedding, you can skip that. Although there may be barbecue, and that'll be the highlight of it. That's going to be it, though. That you eat, grab your, go ahead and make it to-go plate. I'm going to say, and get the hell out of there because that's as good as it's going to get.
All right.
That's going to be the same party.
So yay on barbecue parties. However, I do need to mention Jay, very good friend of the show, very good friend of ours, is from Detroit, Michigan. So his concept, other than he visits the South fairly frequently,
hot dogs and burgers.
Exactly. Where we grew up, barbecue means grilling outdoors, and we have no concept. Like, I'm with you, a pig picking party or a true barbecue where there's smoked meat, totally on board. But a Michigan barbecue is grilling out in your backyard. And I think that's a little bit different.
Well, I mean, it's a thing I do on, like during the summer holidays, you still do it. I mean, yeah, I just did that.
Right. The secondary question for that is Bill's opinion on Jay's use of the term barbecue in that context. Technically BBQ, which is even different from barbecue.
To me is a noun, not a verb, but I know I realized halfway through talking about it what he meant. I was like, oh crap, yeah, he's not Southern. He doesn't mean barbecue. He means grilling.
He means BBQ. He means grilling.
And I still enjoy, I grilled hot dogs the other day on 4th of July because it's what you do. And if it's not Labor Day, but Memorial Day, I usually grill something on Memorial Day. And when we have birthday parties during the summer, or if we go to the lake for a minute, have a thing at the lake, usually grill something there. I still enjoy that. I like eating grilled meat. Drink some beers, you talk, and you eat some grilled meat. Yeah, what's not to like? That's fine. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, that's a good time. I can't say I hate that. If food's involved, I have a good time usually. That's the thing. Those high school parties. There was never they didn't have a damn thing to eat ever. You know.
Right. Except maybe 7-layer dip and some chips.
Did they have that? I never saw that. Somebody bogarted that before I got there. And then they had beer, but it was like, a keg of the world's lousiest.
Right, because no one was really old enough to get that keg.
Yeah. And then the girls were passing around a bottle of Boone's Hill, and getting giddy.
Yeah.
So
Boone's Farm, Bartles and James.
Yeah, that stuff. So there was nothing. There was never anything. It was not like high cuisine. You know what I mean? Like, but I can go to an eating party and have a good time. Yeah.
So there's. Oh,
I was gonna say I've been to a couple Super Bowl parties with you guys, right?
yes.
I don't enjoy the football per se. Okay, like I can watch a couple college games in the fall. I usually watch it for I watch from September until about mid-October when I realize that the Gamecocks are not going anywhere this year. And then I write them off and I say, oh, to hell with this. I don't need to waste any more time on it. So anyway, that's about where I go. That's what happens when you're a South Carolina fan. You don't have to invest in the entire season. Although these guys like Detroit and they invest in
Yeah. Let's not even. We'll. I don't know. We'll do a show on sports ball in the future, and it'll mostly be me very, very, very sad about my chosen team because. What the hell, Detroit Lions?
Yes.
You know what's going to be crazy? Quick aside, this is going to be the 1 year where we don't have a.
We're going to go all the way.
Season. We're going to go all the way because we literally don't have to play football. But that's neither here nor there. I do want to mention.
I like going to the Super Bowl parties because there's food there, and it doesn't matter to me that I don't like the game. My friends are there, and there's food there, and so I still have a good time. And actually, you know what?
It's mostly food at that point.
There was a year where I don't know what was going on, but I didn't go to a Super Bowl party that year. And, I was really missing buffalo chicken dip. So I went and just made some, the next like that Monday, I made buffalo chicken dip because I was like, I didn't get any Super Bowl food.
There's nothing wrong with that. So I do want to mention 2 specific parties here because, like I said, I'd like to host parties.
Yeah.
And parties can have a lot of forms, right? And I think one of our best, most successful parties, so for viewers at home, my partner Matt and I have birthdays very, very close to one another. So we often have joint birthday events. And a few years ago, we decided to host because Asheville had opened a lot of rooftop bars in hotels all around the city. So we decided to host the business casual pub crawl where we had a fake company with lanyards and badges and all of our friends dressed totally business casual and we bar hopped to these different rooftop bars and hotels and pretended like we were part of a company doing team building exercises and things. And we lost all pretense by the last location because we were all drunk and we had been walking around downtown drinking all day. But I had a freaking blast that party. People showed up at different bars and they would get their lanyards. And we made up a company because we're both Aries, having birthdays near one another. So our company was Aries Corporation and everybody had their own badge and it was beautiful.
Did you pick your role?
Yes, you could pick your name, you could pick your role, you could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, it was a good party. The only thing that was bad about it was the fact that it was at hotel bars, which are notoriously high priced for what they are.
True, but that was part of the reason for it was because we were really annoyed that all these hotels are opening up in our town. And we wanted to do something as inauthentic as possible. Right. So we thought we'd do that just because it was funny. So we had a freaking great time at that party. At least I did, and I hope all of our friends did, at least before we got super wasted at the last bar. Where one of our attendees got in an argument with somebody at a wedding party that was also there about whether or not our company was real, which was great.
They liked it. it's not. I'm like,
yeah. The guy from the wedding party, actually, after a little while, he came back with his phone. He's like, I've Googled your company and I cannot find you. And I'm like, oh, lost opportunity. I should have made a fake web page.
You should have. You should have set one up. You should have set one up when he first asked. You should have been like instantly went ahead and spent the $19 on SquareSoft.
Exactly. Thrown up because I did make a logo, thrown up the logo and been like, here it is. It would say under construction. So
yeah.
What do you do exactly? I don't really know what I would do. We had people who were in like product development, but we never defined what our company was.
Right.
I was in HR, so I was leading the whole shindig. But that was stupid fun. But also, so Bill and I and our partners and a bunch of other friends go to an epic Christmas party every year that unfortunately won't be happening this year. It's already been canceled due to the current state of contagion. But it's in a tiny house, and it is the John Hughes Rager that we always wanted.
It's sort of the John Hughes Rager. Yes, you're right. You're right.
There's just wall-to-wall people, alcohol everywhere, but everybody's over like 40. So it is literally the most John Hughes Rager in the world.
It is the most John Hughes Rager there's ever been. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a costume party with a theme every year, a different theme.
Yes. And there have been some great themes. Like one year it was Harry Potter, and I think we all completely outdid ourselves for that one, being the nerds we are. And there have been last year was the 70s, which was fabulous.
It was a Studio 54 party. Yeah, that was probably my favorite. That was probably my favorite. Everybody looked great for that one. The year before that was actually prom night, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. So everybody had they were rocking their 80s and 90s prom looks.
And then the one before that was USO party.
Yes.
I wasn't invited prior to 4 years ago, but I've seen some of them. They had an Oscar party one time. I've seen Ian and Tammy's pictures.
Yes, our friends Ian and Tammy do it up, and they actually are involved, which is part of the reason I enjoy this party. It's called Swanky, and you're not invited unless you are invited. But I don't have the power to invite you, so unless you happen to be invited, you're not. But it's called Swanky, and it's the brainchild of one woman who owns this tiny house and packs 100 of her closest friends in it, including. Like, we've run into weird people there, right? Like, one year we ran into a city council member, which was great.
Yeah, he was a good guy. He comforted me as I was drunk.
Yeah, Bill got a little on the drunk side at that particular party and had sort of laid down on the coat bed, because you always have the coat bed. Every party has a coat bed.
Yeah, the coat bed. One time the coat bed got on fire. Remember that?
That was that last year or the year before? Yeah, the coat bed ended up on fire because there was a candle burning next to it and someone stuck their coat on it.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it fun.
It's the John Hughes Rager.
It really is. It really is. And, that is probably, other than Dragon Con, that is probably the biggest party I go to anytime. Like, I like to host parties, but it's going to be like my closest friends and a small group of people and a very adult party. In fact, let me scroll up here because our friend Heather said a while back, parties with good conversation is a very grown-up thing, which is true. Because that was not a hallmark of a John Hughes movie.
No, that's more like My Dinner with Andre, which was prior to John Hughes.
Right. Exactly. But so that brings me to the next question. I know you said in general you don't like parties except for the ones you like. So do you have tips for how to host a party? Like, what would you say, or, if you want, so I know you gave us, the live band, costume party, beer, but what would be some of the things aside from those that would get you to come to someone's party?
Let's see, live band, costume, beer, good food. If I know there are people there who I care to see, I guess that's a biggie, right? Like, it has to. Yeah, if it's a bunch of lamos I don't care about, I'm probably going to ditch that. That was actually one of the things I put on our agenda to talk about is, you know, you get invited to a great many, especially the holidays. I would say like Christmas parties. I bet you I go to 3 Christmas parties a year. You know,
Mhm.
but that means you have to ditch on 3 other Christmas parties because everybody wants to throw a Christmas party. But the month of December is finite.
Except this year, where the month of December will probably last about 6 months,
It's
but we
already
can't go anywhere. We can have all the parties we want. We just can't leave our houses.
But you know what like everybody wants to throw certain kinds of parties, and then
Yes.
that particular time of the year gets very hectic. You've already got family commitments and stuff going on, and so there's only like a few weekends in there when you can fit it in, and saying yes to one, you have to say no to another.
Yes. Yes.
But that's not to say that I don't say no to parties during the rest of the year when I'm invited to parties, and there's no conflict, except for the conflict of me saying I don't want to be at your party. I mean, I'll be polite about it and come up with an excuse not to come, but honest to God, like I do get invited to a certain number of parties where I'm just going to blow them off because I don't like parties, right? Because and none of those things. None of the things that I need to make me comfortable are going to happen. I know there's not going to be, there's not going to be good beer. There's not going to be a live band. Actually, I'll say in lieu of live band, karaoke also makes it somewhat bearable.
Oh, see, I have a very different opinion of that. I would rather stab myself in the eyes repeatedly with a swordfish than be anywhere near karaoke.
That's because you don't sing, though. So if you sang, you would enjoy karaoke because then you would be the one singing. I know you have to suffer all the other people, but you still get to enjoy it. But because you do not sing, you don't really enjoy karaoke.
Correct. Yes.
Because it means you're just going to sit there and listen to a bunch of lamos sing, and 80% of them listen.
And I do get excited when we're at a place and there's karaoke and like people that I know can sing, and that's fun. But like, I think my wonderful life partner Matt has a wonderful voice.
Yeah,
he sing very well. I don't mind listening, but then it's everybody else that gets up to sing, and you're like, what just happened?
I understand that too. I mean, the same thing happens even when I go out to karaoke. Only every third person's worth of shit, and then the rest of them are awful, but nobody's ever told them different. And or not just that. It's also people don't know their range, and they pick songs that are out of their range. You gotta know what you're good at. You really do. Everybody can't sing everything.
Sure.
We're all not Freddie Mercury. Even if we were, a 5-minute song is too much in karaoke. That's really it's overbearing. You're asking too much of your audience. You need to pick a good 2.5-minute in and out song in a moderate range
with good energy.
Yeah, In Excess is a good example. I would say pick an In Excess song. Michael Hutchins or whatever how you pronounce that last name. Hutchins, I can't remember.
I always pronounce it Hutchins, but I am a product of Generation X.
His vocal range, he's just like an average kind of tenor. You know what I mean? He doesn't have anything special going on. He had a good band. They play some bangers. Yeah, that's a good example of something you could pick that you could get up there and knock that out of the park, and everybody would like it. Everybody would be like, "Yeah, that's the stuff." And you're in and out. Nobody got hurt,
Nobody got hurt. So here's the thing about karaoke parties, though, that makes me angry, though, because that's fine. Like, that's all fine. But sometimes you get the karaoke peer pressure people that are like, oh, you can do it. You can do it. You should do it. And I'm like, I would rather eat my own face than go up there and sing. I'm not going to do it.
Sure,
but they pressure you like they've got drugs, and they're like, come do the drugs. I'm like, I don't want to do the drugs.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, that's happened. Both of those things I've seen happen at parties. Both the drug peer pressure and the karaoke. I'll say this. about karaoke. I will ask somebody twice in their lifetime. You know, like, are you sure you don't want to sing? Are you sure you don't want to sing? And then after they say no twice, I'm like, they don't want to sing. In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, that's a good choice because then basically everybody can go ahead and leave because you're going to tie up the mic the rest of the night.
You know the one I love? Have you seen the video of the guy that at a bar karaoke who did tequila? Yeah. See, like if I ever got like so pressured into doing karaoke, that's what I would go for. Because I would just stand there like a dork and be like, and just wait for it. Tequila. And then it's fine, and then I'm done. That's it. Yeah. Because that's comedy gold. Like that's perfect.
Yeah. No, you know what's funny? I've got a friend who actually attends DragonCon, and he's a karaoke host in Charleston, South Carolina. He does that like probably 3 or 4 nights a week. And recently I remember there was a conversation going on where he said something about back when I used to like music. And that's how he started the sentence. And I was like, is that what being a karaoke host does to one? And he was like, pretty much.
Yeah. I can only imagine. So one thing so here's a party gamble that I like to take sometimes. When a venue, some bar or other venue around town is hosting some sort of party, you don't know. You're rolling the dice. You're like, could I go? Should I go? And when you do go, it's not always great. But I find those just as endearing as if I had planned my own party for a different reason.
Okay. I just want to step out here and say for a moment, I'm just putting this out here, and it doesn't matter because it's not happening this year. But in 2022, 2021, I don't know what year we're going back to normal, whatever.
This year has felt like 7 years. So in 2039.
In the future, when there are parties again, silly Christmas sweater parties are played out, folks. Let's drop it. It's not funny. Now they have a section in the store that sells the silly Christmas. Like when it first started, you had to go raid your mom's closet and steal her silly Christmas sweater.
Yep.
And now it's like they have the silly Christmas sweaters starting in late November. They have them at the store. You go pick them out, and they're sillier than real silly. Like your mom just had this tacky sweater with a Christmas tree and glitter on it, and you would go, Mom, can I borrow this? And she'd be like, you want to borrow that? And you'd be like, yes, I do. And she had no idea you were goofing on her. But now they're not a goof. They're not a goof anymore. Like it's mainstream. Like and the bars are advertising. We're having a crazy Christmas sweater party, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. It's dumb. That's as dumb as the ugly Christmas sweaters were. Like at this point, they're not ironic anymore. Like you're a goofball. Like you're going out purchasing a sweater to wear to a single party. Who's getting goofed on? You are. You're the one getting goofed. You got took.
But I will say, because I freaking love Christmas. I love Halloween through Christmas. It's like a slide into the holidays. I love Christmas. And I will buy ugly Christmas sweaters and shirts and variety of things, but not to wear to a party. Like I can't wear them often enough.
Yeah, that's fine. My mom bought me one time. I remember one year we were out shopping. I want to say it was like early November. We were probably Christmas shopping. I was with my mom, and we went to a clothing store, and there was a tie there that had skulls all over it, and it was on sale because it was after Halloween.
Right.
And it was like $5, and I was like, "This is pretty cool." And my mom said, "Oh yeah, you can wear that next Halloween," and I was like, "I can wear that whenever."
Exactly. Yeah, this is a little. This is a little off topic, but I once had a T-shirt that said "Kiss Me, I'm Irish" that I bought for St. Patrick's Day, and I wore it all the time. I was in high school at the time. I wore it all the time. And
but you weren't even Irish.
I am Irish.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I am.
I thought you were
Irish Canadian, but when I'd walk into school in like May, and they were like, it's not St. Patrick's Day. And I'm like, I know, but I'm always Irish.
Right. Doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change anything.
Right.
That's off topic. But I do want to mention, so one of the things about parties, because I do love parties, especially hosting them, but I will go to them most of the time. The one thing that will usually keep me from a party is if it's a party with some friends that I know but I'm not super, super close to. Like they're not my bestest friends or even like top tier acquaintances. And I know that those people are going, the hosts of the party are going to be the only people I know at the entire party. Those are the ones I have trouble accepting an invite to. Because as much as I like the hosts of that party, unless they're like super best friends and I'm okay with it, if they're just like the people I like and know, and they're the only people I'm going to know at that party, I have trouble accepting that invitation because I'm going to be awkward as hell at that party.
I
don't know anybody.
I mean, that's probably why I bail on parties. Because I'm not going to either I'm not going to know anybody there, or I do know everybody there, and I don't like anybody who's coming. Like I think sometimes I look at the especially like now that Facebook's a thing, right? You know, and on Facebook invites you can actually see who said they're coming and who didn't. And I mean,
right.
I know that's not 100% accurate because people who said they were going to come aren't going to come, and people who said they might come, you know, may come, and some people who said they won't come might show up. But you get a general idea of who RSVP'd, and then you can go, oh, that asshole's going to be there. I don't want to see that guy.
I don't want to be there.
I'm not going. You know, like that's it. I don't ever need to see that guy again. You know.
That is fair. That is completely fair. All right, so I got a few more questions. We're getting close to the end of the show, but I got a few more questions here. Not from our audience. By the way, plug for mailbag. We had some questions come through, which is great. Definitely keep doing that, people who are watching. But also send us your emails, questions about the topic of the week or just random shit. We will be happy to answer whatever question.
Last week, if you watched the show on a rerun, you know, if you're one of the people who watches it after it streams and you have follow-up questions, I know that's a lot of blogs and podcasts I listen to. Like the questions are from like 2 episodes ago or something, but that's fine. We can still talk about it. I'm not done talking about architecture or mustard just because we moved on.
No, trust me, Bill has opinions. So we've never done. There will always be more opinions. So if you have a question, ask it.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you, Bill. What is the difference between, I think you use the term hangout, but what's the difference between a gathering and a party? Like what's the delineation for you?
Okay, A, number of people. I would say 10 or less for a hangout or gathering. And B, the familiarity. I would say at a hangout or gathering, they're all going to be friends. Whereas at a party, you're going to invite some tertiary, you know, like acquaintances or, somebody from work or somebody who's a friend of a friend, you know, who you met once, but you thought might be an interesting person and maybe you'd like to get to know them a little better, you know, but you didn't know how to interject yourself into their life or something, you know?
Right. A party is a good icebreaker in that instance.
It's a networking opportunity. And I think you might, you know, and maybe both of us, I'm not saying it's just you, both of us should view it as such, like it's a networking opportunity. And every year, this is funny, even like Swanky, which I really enjoy, we have a tendency to get in the corner and talk amongst ourselves, right? Like we don't. And I think,
and I'm okay with that.
Matt's the best person who'll decide, which is funny because I know he's got some social anxieties too. But he'll make a pact with himself that he's going to network at this one, and he'll do it. Like he'll go and say hi to people he doesn't know or barely knows or whatever. And I'll say I'm going to do that, and then the night comes, and I'm like, I don't feel it tonight, you know. Part of my problem, and this is also why I wind up drunk at Swanky, is because I mostly drink beer when I drink, right? And Swanky is an open bar situation, and there's not any beer. So I wind up either I'm not drunk enough to feel social, or I'm drunk enough and I've got the wrong thing to drink, and I'm going to feel ill later. because also the year I grew up, I probably was being social, and then I had to duck out because I needed to go puke my guts out.
Yeah, you had to go. You had to go very, very fast.
Let me just mention, so the thing I drank was a drink. Me and Laura made up a drink at that party. Remember that we made up a drink called the O Tannenbaum.
Yeah.
And it was a gin. It was very junipery, mixed with cranberry juice. And did it have a little mint something or other in it?
Peppermint schnapps. Yeah, so it was peppermint schnapps.
It was
cranberry juice and gin. And Lord, yeah, because we were like, these are Christmas flavors, but we were all 3 sheets to the wind at that point.
Yeah.
So
we had pre-gamed on that one, I believe. And
we do every year, to be honest.
Yeah. So anyway, it was not a good time. I mean, well, it was up until that point. It was funny. We were laughing and having a good time, and then we weren't.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that I was still upright after that, and I was certainly hungover the next day, but nowhere near your level. I don't even know how that happened, but whew, I don't know. I do not know.
That Uber driver knew which side to pull over on the side of the road at. She heard me go, and she was like, "Nope, that's it."
Not my car. Not today.
So
if you were gonna pick, so I realize that we're all we're in that weird position right now where we don't really have a lot to look forward to. Parties and events we were planning to attend for pretty much the rest of the year and happening. But if you were to pick, what party, what activity, what social gathering are you most looking forward to for when we can finally emerge from our pods?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm looking very forward to Kwan resuming. And then we were planning to do a Halloween party this year, kind of as a housewarming Halloween thing. And this is partially driven because last Halloween, we had just moved into our house, and our house was not done enough to have people over yet. But we also, we were at Target shopping for Halloween decorations, and there was this thing there. It was this animatronic skeleton DJ, which I don't know what his real name is, but I like to call him DJ Spooky. And
wait, real quick question. Is he like Billy Bass? Like you can put music into him and then he DJs it?
No, he had his own thing going, but I don't know. I think maybe you could do either or. He's got a program, but I think you could actually plug a thing into him too.
Because that would make it 100% ideal.
Yeah, no. Well,
you could probably hack him too.
I'm not entirely sure I'm going to buy the pre-made DJ Spooky. I think I'm going to make my own DJ Spooky, and then have my own playlist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But but that looked awesome, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, we're getting that." And my wife was like, "Yeah, shit, yeah, get that." But the thing was, it was already sold out. Like the only thing left was a display model. And Target, I asked 9 employees, and they ran around for a minute. They were around trying to figure out how to sell me the display model, and they couldn't, or they didn't know. And I was finally like, fuck it, whatever. I'll just buy it offline. And then I looked, and it was like that thing must have sold out in 10 minutes from it going live, right? And I see them now on eBay for sale, but there's like 130% markup, right? Like I'm not making that. Right. It's a stupid plastic skeleton with some it just moves like this, I'm like I can mount a skeleton to an oscillating fan and make it do that,
Please do that.
I'm gonna make my own. It's fine. So I'm gonna make my own DJ Spoopy rather, maybe. I don't know. DJ Spoopy. I
like it. I like the use of the term spoopy, which we will discuss at a future Halloween episode.
Yes. Anyway, yeah. So if I was gonna have a party, it'd be a Halloween party. Next year, I guess we're gonna have the best Halloween party ever next year. Hey, you know what? You were asking earlier, what are things that are ideal? So here's the thing that sometimes is problematic, and then maybe it's because we live way out in the middle of nowhere, but in general, because we tend to go to the kinds of parties where live baiting becomes a thing. You need a place to crash, I guess.
Yeah.
Either that or access to good Uber drivers or something. You know, you need either a shuttle or a place to crash because you're going to get. We didn't even talk about New Year's Eve, but that's a thing too. Like people get.
Oh yeah.
You get loose, and then you need you don't want to drive home. You know, so you want to be safe. You gotta get a ride.
Yeah.
So
I hear you. I completely hear you on that one.
That stuff. So if you can provide accommodations for folks, the folks you really want to come to your party, make room for them. I guess is what I'm saying. If they're like way out somewhere, and the folks that you're mild on, you know, I don't know, like if you could provide some sort of transportation.
Even if that's just access to Uber, like
sure.
So
maybe you can call Uber ahead of time. I don't know how Uber works. Like I'm sure they could probably come up with a coupon code or something if you're having a real rate. Like I think Swanky could have a coupon code. Like there's enough people.
I bet they could.
There's 100 people
all the business.
Like Swanky could have a coupon code to get you back and forth. I know, like DragonCon, you probably got coupons that weekend, right? Like
yeah, and actually Swanky as a big private party in Asheville that none of y'all are invited to. Swanky they do have worked out a thing because they know someone who drives Asheville Cab Company.
Okay.
So they worked out a discount with Asheville Cab Companies. So
that's what I'm saying. Either provide transport or provide places to stay. That'll make your party go well. If you're going to have like a party well into the night, people are going to get libated.
Yes. Because that's the big party that I'm looking forward to. So, right now we're in Asheville, but after that, we're going to be moving back to so we'll be back in Atlanta, and then we'll be back in Asheville for permanent next spring, summer-ish. And the first thing I want to do, which ties into our hobbies episode from last week, is build our outdoor tiki bar. But then after we build the outdoor tiki bar, I'm a host at a tiki party, a backyard surf tiki party, and it'll be like a welcome back to Asheville, welcome home, no longer going away party.
Right.
As we move back. And I am very much looking forward to that. And part of that is hobby, because part of that is the build of the actual tiki bar. And then part of that's party, because we will invite all of our friends over to drink tiki drinks in our backyard.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully the Nazis haven't completely ruined Hawaiian shirts for us by then.
You know what? I figure I will wear the Hawaiian shirts with the Black Lives Matter button and just call it good.
I was hoping that maybe the gay folks, if you guys could push a little harder and start wearing more Hawaiian shirts, and I mean, make Hawaiian shirts gay again. Then maybe we could shoo the Nazis off of them for fear of coming off gay or something. I don't know.
Something. There's got to be something. All right.
That actually leads me into this week's things that are extra, which is about racist asshole.
There you go.
A little bit.
All right.
So hey, in the news, like this is like current event stuff. You've seen so NASCAR got rid of the Confederate flag. They're taking down loser statues all over the South.
Right.
Pulling them down, like bam. So here's the thing. It's occurred to me, okay, wow. It took violence against black people to make this happen, or outrage against violence. So, and then at the same time, there's all this debate, and apparently Congress couldn't settle on a bill about the proper way to discipline policemen who, overstep their boundaries. So to that end, okay, I realize there's never going to be a perfect solution to that. We're never going to get accountability out of the police department. But what if we just put accountability on white people in general? Every time the police overstep, every time there is a social injustice against black people, white people lose a thing that's important to white people. Right? Especially not even to white people who are allies, but especially to the group that aren't allies yet. But eventually, we're going to wear your ass down. You're going to get on board because you're going to lose stuff. You're going to lose your statues first. You already lost. Listen, the Confederate flag, you can't wave it at NASCAR. The Confederate flag is off the Mississippi flag now. Whoop, that's gone. Listen,
right.
Next week, you keep fucking around. NASCAR altogether, we're gonna get rid of it. There won't be any NASCAR. Bam, that's gone. Listen, keep messing around. Hurt another black person. Here, I got a long list of things we're gonna take away. Here's what's gonna happen. Cops kill a black person, Bud Light, gone away. Bam, that's the end of that. Truck nuts, no more.
The world will not be disappointed.
Kid Rock, fuck that guy. Fishing programs, they're gone. Chewing tobacco, Hank Williams Jr., pleated pants, mullet haircuts, Salt Life stickers, spray tans. You guys keep messing around. You're gonna get stuff every time it happens, something's gonna get taken away. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna keep doing this. Listen, I just read you a list. That's a short list. I have a longer list. These things go away. Eventually, you're going to come around. You're going to say, "I can't spare it. I can't stand to lose another damn thing. Just please, for the love of God, be nice to black people, okay? Because I can't stand to lose another thing." Listen, because this is what's going to happen. Eventually, it's going to start to infringe on me, okay? Like I said, and I'm an ally. I consider myself an ally. But eventually, I mean, like if you guys mess around to the point where it gets to like Elvis Presley and Patsy Cline get taken away, then I'm going to be mad, okay? I mean, I'm already mad because bad things are happening, but I'm going to be madder. I'm going to be mad and disenfranchised, I guess is what I'm saying, right? Like, so yeah, keep messing around. This is just a short list of the things that are going to go away, okay? Just bear in mind, all right? That's the things that are extra for this week.
All right, bill for Congress, bill for president. I'm all for it. Let's make this happen. Let's do this thing. All right, folks. It has been fun as always, but that is the end of our show for this week. We will be back next week, potentially with a super surprise for y'all. We'll stay tuned for that. Yeah. But that's all we have for you. Bill, will you take it away?
Oh yeah. This show is produced and engineered by Laura Lavoie, and the opinions expressed by Bill are those of Bill, and the ones of Laura are those of Laura, except for the ones they shake their heads in agreement on, in which case they both agree, and hopefully you agree. That's why you're still tuning in, all four of you. So you can get a friend to join next week, and we'll be back at the same time.
We will. Like, subscribe, and share. Please, sharing is caring, so tell your friends, and we will be back soon.
Hate us on YouTube.
Hate us on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Hate us on YouTube. All right. It's been fun, everybody. See you in a week.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.